is it that we save the best of development only for folks, of a certain class? It's not even poor white, so sorry, who, of a certain class of folks. I know that there are great possibilities. Poor people like living in nice places too. And if we can look before, because look, everybody knew Williamsburg was going to happen years ago. But was there anybody saying, how do we create models here that reduce displacement, that prepare people to participate in the economic booms that are coming here, that secure their rights for them to either keep and retain some of the real estate here so that they benefit from it? I want to see that kind of model, the kind of model that we're pushing, happening around the country, starting in my own community in the South Bronx. But the whole point is that I don't think it's that hard. The same way that we use real estate development to concentrate poverty, we can also use it to reduce its impact. We really can do that through a very strategic mix of economic development and housing.
So instead of redlining, you'd have like rainbow lining.
Yeah, like why can't we build like quote unquote affordable housing, in some of the wealthier communities and do it in a cool way where it's nice and it doesn't look ghettoized and stupid. Or, why can't we set up the kind of things that middle class people would like in poor communities to make it so that they'd want to stay, so that guess what, everybody benefits. It's possible.
Elizabeth.
Well, I'm so curious about that because I get asked a lot. We came in here at the cusp of the gentrification. I didn't it was already happening. We came in here in 2003. And trying to figure out how do you make this public, and how do you, we're working with Snowhetta, Ann Lewison is right up there, our architect at Snowhetta. We're trying to figure out how do you alter the facade of the building so that every person would stop and it would evoke utter curiosity and wonder first, not, oh, that's glass and steel and brick and I can't go in there. What are the coded what are the coded messages that are out there, loud, and most people walk by? It's the class thing.
Yeah. Look,
it's the class thing that I don't have any idea what to do about.
I'm a coded message.
You're a coded message?
In my own neighborhood.
How do you do that?
I'm considered successful. And so if they don't see me leaving my house, and if they haven't seen me in a little while, they'll say things like, oh, Majora, where do you live? Where do you live now? With the subtext being like, you can't possibly live here because you're successful, and thus successful people do not live in communities like this. And that kills me more than anything because it's not a reflection on me. It's a reflection on how they see themselves. And that's what is so painful about knowing what I know and having been to places that I've been around this country, where low-income people of all colors, and it's not just the black or brown thing, it really is not, see themselves as truly less than because they happen to have been born in a certain socioeconomic status.
It's very hard to shake that, that shame and that embarrassment of being working class, being below, working poor. Bill, how do you, would you say Nyla is gentrified, or would you say that it represents the Chelsea community or the downtown dance community?
I did not want to be in Chelsea. I love it. Guys are good looking, the shops and so on. But no, I thought, you're going to do, this is where Ernie and I cut our teeth there, but that neighborhood, when I saw what it was, they don't need contemporary dance. And to this day, there are people who live in the neighborhood who say, oh, we don't really go there because we feel it's like a closed shop. It's like for insiders, So gentrification, there are multi-millionaires throughout that neighborhood, and there is this kind of scrappy sense of it being an artist-run space that almost feels like anachronism from another time. So who is your community? And how do you get the people from your community, other places, to actually buy into coming there, making work there, seeing work there, That's what we're working at right now. So it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's a different thing.
It's not coincidence that a conversation crossing the worlds of arts and politics ends up talking about development.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of people, it's only at that nexus that they grapple with the arts, that they meet the artists. Oh, they're coming in, bang goes the neighborhood. Or, oh, they're coming in, yay, the neighborhood.
Yeah.
This sounds like a ridiculous question, but is that a problem? Is that worse than it used to be? Where are the other nexus points where art and politics interact or could in a useful way?
Well, I was thinking that the taint on the money and the origin of the money, like Bill, you're saying you get some from the city and from developers, or perhaps if it's a cultural institution, Department of Cultural Affairs could give you some money. But the thing is, when you get, let's say, half your building, let's say your building costs $57 million, and you get $35 million from the city, that's taxpayers' money. Like, I feel that it's incumbent on the people who run those spaces, and I feel it's incumbent on us, likewise, to make them public. And the only time, in my estimation, that they are public is when people spend $25 or $100 for a ticket. That's not public. That's called the mercantile exchange. So how do we start to behave differently to defamiliarize the behavior of theatergoers so that we are really operating as we should, I think, as public parks? Or what, are we a church or are we a 7-Eleven?